Hey guys, Dan and Daisy back for another episode of For Living in Eau Claire, Wisconsin YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about where to specifically live in Eau Claire. And I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. If you don't know who I am, I'm Dan Jerseth. I have a real estate team here in Eau Claire. And over the past 6-7 years, I've actually helped over 500 people buy and sell real estate around Eau Claire. Before I got into real estate, I actually managed a moving business where we actually helped about 600 to 800 people within a 3-year period move around Eau Claire and out to other areas around the country. So you're actually hearing this information from somebody who knows Eau Claire so well. And I'm just bringing this content to you guys because I realized there was not a lot of online information or video proof of what it's like to live in Eau Claire. So I'm bringing this stuff to you guys because I really feel like that's missing. And I also feel like I can speak really well to what it's like to live here. I've also lived here pretty much my whole life, pretty much every single area of Eau Claire, Wisconsin as well. I went to college here and I went to high school in a little high school about 20 minutes east of Eau Claire. So I've always lived in Eau Claire County and it's my home. Love the area, and I'm very passionate about talking to you guys about it. So today's topic, we're actually going to be talking about where to live in Eau Claire. And this is completely unscripted. This is just coming from my own encyclopedia of brain of all the years of living here and understanding specifically the different neighborhoods and areas and also living it. So I'm going to start with the north side of town, and I'm going to break down the different areas based on walkability of the different neighborhoods, the price points, and also how close you are to things and transportation, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to describe the north side, the center of Eau Claire, kind of like the downtown area, and then the south side. That's pretty much how Eau Claire is mainly broken up, is north, downtown, south side. Just so you guys understand that. And if you're looking at a map, if you're like Googling it and you're trying to figure out what it's like to, what the city's like, that's what I usually do is when I'm trying to figure out what a layout of a city is like. I'm Googling, I'm looking around at things. If you're looking at a map, the north and south side of Eau Claire is separated by Claremont, which Claremont is like the main highway or road that goes right through the center of Eau Claire. The third ward or downtown Eau Claire will be like where all the shops are downtown. North side of town was pretty much all developed. It was actually developed first, actually after the downtown, but north side was developed all pretty much from like the 40s all the way to the 70s. So in that area, you're going to get a lot of neighborhoods. We call it the Planets neighborhood. We call it the Airport neighborhood. We call it west north side of Eau Claire. All these areas, if you're looking at a map, are going to be kind of surrounded around the airport in all those areas. These specific neighborhoods, one pro of them is I think you can get a little bit better prices than the south side of Eau Claire. Just so you guys understand, a lot of things in a 54703 zip code is going to be generally a little bit lower priced. I would say anywhere from between like 250-ish price point all the way up to like 325-ish price point. Now, obviously, there's little pockets of neighborhoods where there's newer development or not as nice properties that are going to be outliers from those price ranges. But generally speaking, that is kind of what you're expecting to pay on the north side of town, which it makes, and the houses are really nice. A lot of people keep up their yards, they keep up their properties, and it's well maintained. The neighbors are super nice. And I would say the one downside about the north side when I lived over there is that to get to a store, you got to drive pretty much not very far. Like we're still in the city of Eau Claire. Walmart, okay, just a simple example. You got to drive 10 to 15 minutes north of you into like Lake Hallie, Chippewa Falls area, or you got to drive to the south side of Eau Claire. So either way, you're driving a little ways, like you're driving across town to get to a big store like Walmart or even Scheels. You want to go to a lot of dentist office, chiropractic clinics, all that stuff. You got to drive to the south side of town. So I'd say that's a pro and con, right? The north side of town has less commercialization to it, but also with that, you got to travel to get to areas. This is coming from my perspective. I live in the south side of town. I love the fact that things are like 2 minutes from my house. So I'm spoiled. One of those people who is completely okay with driving 10, 15 minutes to get to something, which 99.9% of people, I'm just a very impatient person. That's completely fine. That's going to be a good spot for you to hunker down and actually find a house. So if you guys are looking over there, make sure you guys reach out to us. We can help you out finding stuff that's available. I am a real estate agent in the area. lived all the different areas. So if you guys are thinking about moving here and you're wondering a little bit more on what's available currently at the time, make sure you guys reach out to my direct cell phone is literally in the comments, and we'll flash it on the screen here. Now the downtown area is going to be interesting. It's a mixture of rental properties and super nice properties from like the 1800s, that like the original lumber barons and the attorneys and the doctors of people who like basically founded and built Eau Claire. And then you have a bunch of houses from like early 1900s sprinkled in there, and that are all currently rental properties. The downtown area also has a huge influx of college student rentals. So if you're looking to stay out of the student rental area, like you don't want to buy, like if you didn't want to buy a house in the student rental housing area, there is a pocket in downtown area that's heavily student rental properties. But if you guys watch my other videos, I have a whole video talking about the most walkable neighborhood in Eau Claire is actually the 3rd Ward, which is a section of the downtown. It's like the corner of the downtown area. And that is actually one of the most housing area because it's surrounded around the Putnam Heights Park, which is, I think, over 200 acres of protected forest land right in downtown Eau Claire, which is one of the reasons why Eau Claire is so unique in aspect. You have the Chippewa River, the Eau Claire River that runs right through downtown, which is really pretty. You have a bunch of shops downtown Eau Claire too. So if you guys are like walkability aspects to things to do, parks, there's a Putnam Trail that goes right through the forest. You guys like to be close to the university, all the hustle and bustle, the kids running around. I would recommend considering downtown Eau Claire as one of your options to keep an eye on. Maybe you check it out and it's not something that's a good fit for you, but properties here can vary probably the most out of any section of Eau Claire, because you do have student housing area, which some of the houses are converted back to like single family living and are primary residence, right? So that would be the price point. You could probably find something down there for like 170-ish, 175-ish, 190-ish, sometimes under $200,000. And you also have the complete opposite side of things where you can find properties down there for 800,000 plus, because they are very beautiful Victorian 4,000 square foot plus with 3 bathrooms and 5 bedroom houses. So you do have that aspect. Now those houses that are more expensive are more lined up with the backyard to Putnam Park that I had mentioned earlier. You get the point. Downtown is very walkable. It's very beautiful. You're obviously in the center heart of Eau Claire, where there's a lot of industry down there. You got a couple hospitals within 5 minutes of you. You have tech company down there. That's actually where my office is too. I forgot about that. That's the best aspect of downtown. I've lived down there. I lived in more of the student housing area when I lived over there. Wasn't really for me personally. Houses are kind of close together. I would stick away from that area unless I could afford like the $800,000 houses. If I could afford that, if I wanted to buy something like that, I would probably look there, because dang, I've walked through some of those properties before. It would be such a dream to live in those things. There's actually a couple of them that are riverfront to the Chippewa River. It's very hard to find waterfront, riverfront properties, because a lot of times there's parks lining the entire rivers. So next we will make our way to the south side of Claremont and work our way to the south side of Eau Claire. Now, one neighborhood I'll mention before we make our way from downtown to the south side of Eau Claire is going to be the East Hill. So the East Hill is kind of like a in-betweener of downtown and south, because I don't really consider the East Hill to be downtown, but I wouldn't really consider it to be the south side. So it's kind of like a little bonus neighborhood that I would mention to you guys. Price points of this neighborhood is they're very reasonable price points, and they're really nice walk-up neighborhoods. A lot of my friends actually live in this neighborhood, and there's probably hundreds of homes there. So it's not like a little tiny neighborhood like the 3rd Ward I just mentioned. Typically you're going to find houses in that neighborhood for like $250,000, and they're right next to Memorial High School. They're right next to a couple different elementaries. They're next to Regis High School. So it's a very good spot, and you're right along Hastings, so it's easy to get to other different areas of town really quickly. Now we'll work our way to the south side of Eau Claire. You got to understand the south side of Eau Claire wasn't developed until like the 1970s till today. So that's probably the most developed side of Eau Claire. And Putnam Heights, which is right across Claremont, so it's like the least southern side of the neighborhood, that was probably the oldest neighborhood in Eau Claire, and that's all like late 1860s to early 1970 builds. Another one of my favorite neighborhoods that's right up the hill from our office. So we actually saw a lot of real estate in the Putnam Heights neighborhood, and those price points are pretty close to like $300,000. And it's also very close to what I mentioned before, is the more commercialized shopping center of the south side of Eau Claire. So personally, if I were moving to Eau Claire, I might actually rank Putnam Heights as one of my favorite areas to move to, just simply because it's still a neighborhood feel, but you're literally just minutes to the shopping center. So you don't know you're next to the shopping center when you're in the neighborhood. And then you have the south side of Eau Claire, which has all been developed. We have the mall, you have Shields, you have Walmart, you have Target, you have Aldi's, you have Brachos, you have Chipotle, you got like 5 pet stores to choose from. You have like 10 different places to shop for clothes. You have Michael's, you have Home Goods, you have Hobby Lobby. You have all these different places to shop from. I actually live over in the south side now. I'm actually like 2 minutes from Best Buy and Sam's Club, and I'm close to my gym, and I'm close to a Brachos. Number one reason why I'm over there is I'm close to a place that serves really big ass burritos. So that's my favorite part about living over there. Let's be honest. You get the point. You have all these different shops, stores, restaurants, places that you have a dog park. The biggest dog park in Eau Claire is in the south side of town. And then the other thing to add to the south side of town has been more developed than any other area. You have this kind of like this urban sprawl of really new, nice developments outside of town that's continuing to go even further south. So that south side of town, the lowest price house average, I would think you could find houses for like $300,000, which is kind of, actually no, I just sold them there for like $290,000, and that would be right in the Putnam Heights area. People who are moving from out of state, who are moving from like Oregon or California or Texas, where they're selling their average house for like $650,000, they come here to move Eau Claire and they look at what they can buy for $650,000 and they say, heck yeah, my dollar goes a lot further here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It's a pretty desirable area to move to. Lots of jobs, lots of growth here. Very artsy, flourishing city with a lot of culture. So I've pretty much driven down every single street. I wish I had been keeping track of all the streets that I've been on over the years, because I'm pretty sure I've covered every square mile of roadway in Eau Claire. And trust me, I can help you guys out.
I have relocated officially to Hayward, Wisconsin. I couldn't be happier. Hey, there's Mimi right back there. Yeah, Mimi. I have become licensed in Wisconsin. I'm fishing. The licensing part is real estate, and I have officially joined Dan's realty team, our realty group. Dan. That's all I know. So Dan's team, with the technology and his ability to, share with it in the simple terms, from the day one and the get-go, I'm already just impressed with the amount of leverage that I have to free up my time to do the money-making activities at a level that's scalable. So thank you for that.
If you were looking to move to this area, make sure you reach out to me. You can either fill in the link down below, either send me an email, send me a text message, send me a carrier pigeon, however you want to get a hold of me. Send me some smoke signals in the air. I'll be there for you guys every step of the way. We also have a lender in our office, which makes us pretty convenient for you guys moving from out of state. We got our real estate agents. We're a one-stop shop for you guys to figure out what is like to move in here in Eau Claire and actually get situated in a property. I hope to hear from you guys soon. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, see ya. Bye.